Hello, my name is Jimmy Robinson, and today I'll be presenting my LakeForest Mall market analysis. Just a little bit about the site. The site was built in 1978, was renovated in 2000. It was recently purchased by WRS for $20 million in 2019. However, there were a few roadblocks. One of them being the city of Gettysburg disapproval of RS's proposal. Um, and in turn, the city of Gettysburg elected and opted to create their own uh, uh, plan for the actual site. Uh, and they also required that whoever bought the site actually also purchased the adjacent four properties adjoining Lake Forest Mall as well. However, recently, WRS has recently um, overcame this hurdle and was able to gain the city's approval and thereby officially acquire the Lake Forest Mall site early in 2022. It's a little bit about the location. Again, it's in Gettysburg, Maryland. The site is in a safe location. No local gas, no disruption underneath the surface, as far as we know. Of course, you do your due diligence when, I guess, officially building on the site as well, and also. But also, there's also tremendous opportunities in terms of transportation, as we see in the map to my right. The red line goes directly to the site. So it's definitely an opportunity for ingress and egress in terms of public transportation, as well as vehicle transportation as well, private vehicle transportation as well. Um, yes, as well. Excuse me. And there's also opportunity for definitely um, um, new renovation, although it was recently renovated in 2000. And so the office market, one of the things I noticed is that the office market is actually the weaker of the three categories of office market and retail. There are two key roadblocks with the office market. One of them being vacancy concerns. As of recently, it was recently reported that there were 11 either totally vacant or almost totally vacant sites uh, uh, located near the region, with approximately 2.25 square feet of open office space available. In addition to that, the employment growth has slowed over time. So although the market has a substantial government sector, there's still a shortage in overall employment growth in the area. So the lack of employment growth, of course, coincides to the decrease in vacancy rates. So with these two roadblocks, I would suggest focusing more on retail and residential when developing the site. And with retail, as we see here, one of the strongest categories is the general appliance category, which actually leads in about over $296 million worth of total primary trade area expenditure, and over $400 million of total expenditure as well. Um, as well as the neighborhood goods and services following up with that. So definitely focusing in regards to retail and general appliance areas, or mixed use neighborhood goods and services, including neighborhood goods and services. With that type of focus, would definitely be highly beneficial to the site. In terms of grocery stores, upon further analysis, I noticed that a Wegmans could potentially be a good opportunity there. The nearest one is actually like 11 miles away, but I noticed that the red line goes directly, as I mentioned, to the site, and the nearest Wegmans is actually on the other side. It actually the nearest red line, excuse me, it actually would reach the wagons on the site before passing and going to the next nearest one that's closest to the primary trade area. So if you were to do a grocery store, perhaps the Wegmans could be highly beneficial on the site as well. So two retail centers that we looked at in our analysis was First Field as well as Gettysburg Square. Well, First Field currently has 12 retail stores and including two banks. And their one of the strongest categories is neighborhood goods and services category. Um, is pretty that does pretty well in First Field. In First Field. And also Gettysburg Square. Gettysburg Square, like neighborhoods, goods and services, they actually have one of the highest capture rates, um, as well as general appliances. And and it's actually a bit smaller than First Field, and it's only 2 miles away from the competition site. So this could be a good gauge into what we can build or we may want to look out for in terms of direct competition for that's going to be near the LakeForest mall site. And with residential analysis, now with the residential market, one of the things that I noticed was that the owner occupied household inventory was significantly higher than the rental occupied inventory. Now this could be now the this of course the decrease in rental percentage could be of course due to clear lack of supply, right? Or it can be demand. But I would highly suggest WRS to kind of look further into um, how much rental inventory um, is actually needed on the site. I do suggest close to the primary trade area, there's actually a high percentage of um, uh, the population between 50 and 75%, 50,000 and 75,000 of the average median income. So perhaps more affordable housing could be incorporated closer to the primary trading site, and maybe adding more market rate housing in the secondary and tertiary, the tertiary trade areas as we branch out from, a little further from the site if we choose to develop, a little further out as well. Um, Now, the impact of mixed use development. Um, of course, mixed use development is definitely a popular thing, and particularly in major cities, but in general. If we were to do a mixed use development on the site, I would highly recommend perhaps residential and retail focus as opposed to an residential office retail focus. One of them being, of course, because as I mentioned before, these are two of our strongest categories, with, of course, neighborhood goods and services and general appliances generating the highest total amount of expenditure in the area. And even food and beverage can be highly effective in the area as well. Um, but office, due to the decrease in employment, as well as the vacancy rate, it's just a high risk in kind of incorporating that into a mixed use, unless we would do that and say as an amenity, a co-working space, kind of like a we live type of feel to it, but adding it more so as amenity as opposed to like a separate retail or like a separate mixed use development. In conclusion, with the population projected to increase over the next 5 years, excuse me, it is highly suggested that we definitely focus on increasing the residential inventory in the market, um, and again, gauging how much affordable and market rate rental housing uh, it should be implemented based on the demand for it in the area. Is highly encouraged. And also retail, focusing heavily on retail. Really, all three of the categories are strong, but of course, studies show that neighborhood goods and services and general appliances have brought in the highest total expenditure. So we would encourage some form of hybrid, perhaps, or focusing on general appliances, or perhaps a neighborhood goods and services. Again, a local grocery store in an area like a Wegmans could be highly beneficial to the area. And incorporating some food and beverages, perhaps incorporating that in it as well. But again, the strongest in the retail was neighborhood goods and services and general appliances, uh, and incorporating even mixed use residential retail as opposed to office retail or office residential. But at the same time, considering to include office as an amenity, or some type of co-working opportunity within the site, um, without uh, while mitigating the threat of of vacancy. So again, thank you. I look forward to seeing what WRS is going to do with the site. And thank you.